I want to extend, on behalf of the entire agency, I want to extend our deepest sympathies to those who were injured in this event. Whether it's physical or mental, this is a tough incident, any of these, to go through. So you are on our hearts, in our thoughts, as we proceed with this investigation throughout the course of the investigation in the years to come as we pursue implementation of safety recommendations that may come out of this. We are here with 14 personnel. We have 7 investigators with us, and we have 1 professional from our Transportation Disaster Assistance team. They provide family assistance. What they do is they visit victims in the hospital, they contact them, and they provide them information on the resources that are available for them through the Red Cross. And I do want to take a moment and thank the American Red Cross for their partnership. Our family assistance team is with those families throughout the course of our investigation, including through the board meeting at the end of the investigation and issuance of the final report. We always make sure that they have information. I don't have a lot of investigative information to share with you today. This is our first day on scene. We all arrived at various times last night. What I can do is tell you what we did today. We began our morning with an organizational meeting, and I'll go through some of the specifics on what we did in that meeting. And then we designated parties to our investigation. So I want to talk about what parties mean. Parties to our investigation are entities that can provide factual information to us that helps us later analyze the investigation and issue findings, the probable cause, and the safety recommendations. So these are people who can provide us with facts. They are only part of the fact-finding course of the investigation. They are never part of analysis. We are an independent entity, and we do that alone. So the parties to our investigation are CTA, Federal Transit Administration, Illinois Department of Transportation, the Machinists Union District 8, and the Amalgamated Transit Union Local 308. One great advantage, other than us getting the factual information from what we call the party system, is that entities who are part of our fact-finding get investigative information so they can make safety change immediately. They don't have to wait for the issuance of our final report. Now, in addition to designating the parties to our investigation, we formed investigative groups where each of our investigators will lead a group focused on a certain portion of the investigation. So we have one group who's focused on the crashworthiness of the rail cars. They're also focused on survival factors. So what they're looking at is how do we prevent injuries and fatalities in the future? We have a group focused on track. They're looking at track conditions. They're looking at track markings, evidence of braking, and other portions of the track that they may pick up. In addition, we have a group focused on signals. They're focused on getting certain recorders and data logs from the wayside detectors and looking at the signal systems. We have a group that's focused on operations. That group will get the event recorder, and they will look at the inward and outward facing cameras. They will get all communications, radio, any tower communications, any phone communications. Now, before anyone asks, because I will be asked, we have not yet reviewed the event recorders or the inward and outward facing cameras. We will do that shortly. Right now, today was about collecting what we could and documenting the scene, which I'll go over again in a second. And then finally we have a mechanical group that's focused on all the equipment, brake systems and the like. Now, I mentioned that what we spend our day on is really documenting the scene. So our team wants to see everything as it was, take pictures, that will help determine what additional information they may need. And eventually, once that documentation occurs, we can move the rail cars and the equipment to a secure storage location that CTA owns. So we can do additional documentation and analysis in that storage facility. But right now, it's really about looking at the scene as it stood after the event. On scene, we will not be doing any analysis. We are only here to get the facts. We're here to get the perishable evidence. That's the evidence that goes away once they reopen the line and clean everything up. So we need to get all of that here on scene. The analysis, the documentation like training programs, fatigue, or when someone was employed, that all can be done later from the location of our investigators. Now, we expect to be on scene for about 5 days. We are diligently working through photographing the scene, and I know there are probably some interested in when will the line reopen. We can't give you a time frame on that. We are hoping it is within the 5 days and less than that. But I can't give you an exact time yet because we want to give our folks time to document the scene. In a couple of weeks, we will issue a preliminary report. That preliminary report will only contain the factual information. It will not include analysis. That is about 12 to 18 months down the road. When we do investigations, they are incredibly comprehensive. And it includes a lot of factual information. So I do want to assure you, though, that throughout the investigation, in our party system, CTA, for example, will get information on safety issues we uncover so they can make immediate change. In addition to that, we never hesitate to issue urgent safety recommendations at any time if we feel there's some sort of urgent safety issue that we need to weigh in on, whether it's something related to CTA or something that's more systemic that we want to address. For updates, please keep an eye on ntsb.gov and all our social media. And with that, I am going to take questions. And